everyone, welcome back to my channel. Grab you some Dollar Tree cutting boards. I'm going to show you some DIYs you haven't seen before. So if you want to know how to make them, stick around. I'll show you how. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Right next one. Okay, for this first project, I'm going to use 2 of the Dollar Tree cutting boards, and I'm going to cut one in half. Just kind of really make sure that you get it right at the halfway point. And then I'm just going to cut this on a miter saw and then save your other half for another project. And do spend some time to sand these because they do get kind of splintery. So I'm going to use 3 of the small Jenga blocks, and I'm just going to glue these spaced out evenly onto the back of my small board. Just put a little bit of wood glue on each one of these and then push it up there to stay in place. And then I didn't clamp these, just set them there and let those dry. You do want to take some time to get the excess glue off. Next, to attach the back to the bottom, I'm just going to put some wood glue on the back of each one of these. And then I'm just going to set that right up on top of there, and I am going to clamp these. And I didn't put any on the bottom because I didn't want it oozing out because I am going to stain this. So just get your wood clamps and go ahead and clamp it. Once you have it clamped, go ahead and remove the rest of your glue. Okay, next I'm going to take some 1-gallon stir sticks, and I'm going to create a frame around this. And this is just going to be your basic picture frame without the mitered corners. So you're going to cut 2 the same on both sides and 2 the same on the bottom. Okay, after you got them cut out, we're just going to go ahead and place them in their place. And then we're going to take another one and we're going to go across the center of it to cut like a little barn door. Okay, next after you make sure it fits perfectly, then we're going to take some blue painter's tape and we're going to tape this, and then that way we can hold it together to get our center one across the center, because we are going to create like a barn door across the center. So just go ahead and take some blue tape, the painter's tape, and then flip it over, and we're going to put our stick underneath this frame, and then that way we can go ahead and get the exact measurement on this one by drawing it with a pencil. So kind of line it up how you want it and then just draw it with a pencil, and then you're just going to take it and you're just going to cut it. And I'm just going to cut mine out with just a regular utility knife. And then once you've cut through maybe about halfway through these, you can take a pair of heavy-duty scissors just to cut the rest of the way. And I'm just going to use some regular cardboard scissors, and that worked just perfectly fine. Once you got it cut out, just make sure it does fit inside your frame. Okay, next I'm going to take some dark wood stain, and I'm going to stain my entire board, the front, the back, the bottom, all of it. To get it a little bit darker, I did decide to come back in with the Waverly Antique Wax Paint, and I'm just going to go ahead and brush this on, and then I'm going to take a rag and wipe off the excess. This just gave it a little bit of a darker color, and that's kind of what I was looking for. This is going to be several steps in this process, but I promise you the end results you will be totally happy with. So I'm going to paint this with some white chalk paint. Now I unassembled this and I put it back together with the tape on the back. So just be sure and do that first so that you can keep the same look that you already have instead of just flipping it over. And I'm going to paint the entire thing with the white chalk paint. So I'm going to take a chip brush and some of that same white paint, and I'm going to distress the front. Now none of this is going to look like this after we get done with the following couple of steps, but just get it on there first, and then we are going to paint the bottom of the base white, just like we did the door. And then you'll see how this all ties together here in a little bit. Once that's dried, we're going to go back over it with the Waverly Antique Wax. So we're going to take some of the Antique Waverly Wax, and we are going to take a chip brush and we are going to dust this, and we're going to dust it pretty good. You don't want a lot of streaks on it, you just kind of want to dust it with the color. And then you're going to get your edges just a little bit more dark. So you might have just taken it apart to do this. Okay, next I'm going to come in and I'm going to paint the base a solid white. And you'll see how all this ties in here in a little bit. I know it is a lot of steps, but I promise you, you will like the end effect. So I'm going to take some black chalk paint and I'm going to stress these also just like this. I'm going to go across the sides of them first, get them a little bit heavy, and then I'll brush through them. And if you have a wet paintbrush, those little dots that just fell off of there, that's what happens. So make sure that you're starting with a dry paintbrush. And then I'm also going to do the base of this, and then I'm also going to do the brown backing on it. So I'm going to take my door and I'm going to take a soft rag and I'm going to take the antique wax and I'm going to go over this. This way you'll see the light color come through, you'll see the black come through, the brown come through. All this will end up tying together really nicely and it'll give it a nice aged wood effect. And be sure and get your sides too because you will see those. And then you're going to do the same thing with the base. What this does, it gives it a look like as if something's been painted several times, several layers of paint on it. And then you can start seeing all the layers of paint through it as you're staining it. Okay, next I'm going to take 120 grit sandpaper and I'm going to start sanding this. Now I'm not going to sand it heavily, just start bringing some of the colors out. And then you're going to do the same thing with the base. Okay, next we're just going to start assembling this. I'm going to start with just a hot glue gun is all I'm going to use on this. So go ahead and put your bottom piece in first and then we'll go ahead and get our sides in next. Just take your time on this. Just make sure that you do get it pretty straight. And then just go ahead and pick up each piece one at a time and go ahead and glue them. And then get your cross piece lined up good first before you do the other side and the top. So put that one in first and then just make sure that you do have it lined up good so you have a snug fit on that. And then go ahead and do your side and your top. Okay, so I got this little door handle from Lowe's and I'm just going to mark exactly where I want it to be. And then I'm going to use my nail setting tool to go ahead and hammer in an indent on here so that I can get my screw hole through there pretty easily. And I'm just going to set this on another piece of wood, drill right through. And then that way you can not crack your piece of wood when you're adding your screws. Since this wood is a little bit thin, I would highly recommend just using a handheld screwdriver to do this instead of a power screwdriver. And I use some real short little screws for this. To make some hinges, I'm just going to take some white craft foam and I'm just going to freehand some hinges. So just kind of make them however long you want them. Just kind of go down, curve at the end. Just make a little U shape right there and then cut them back off. And then I ended up making both of mine exactly the same and then I am going to cut them just a little bit short. And then once you get these cut out, then we're going to texture these and I'll show you how we're going to do that. I'm just going to take the end of a Phillips screwdriver and you're going to kind of pound into this. This will make a nice indent in it, so kind of press hard, but go all over them with this Phillips head screwdriver. I'm just going to paint them with some black paint and I'm going to paint the top and the sides. I'm not going to paint the back. Then I'm just going to glue these on with some hot glue. This was pretty simple. I know it was a lot of steps to get to the distressed wood look, but I think the wood really turned out good doing it this way. It gave it a lot more of a weathered look. And then I'm just going to take a plant and set it on the front of it, and that's pretty much it. You could make another one like this to go with it if you wanted to have a book stand. This next one, I'm just going to take some painter's tape and another one of the cutting boards, and I'm just going to kind of go at a diagonal in the center to cover this up. That way I can paint on the top and on the bottom without getting paint everywhere. So we're going to do something separate on the center. So just go ahead and do that like that. Tape it up, and then we're going to paint the bottom and the top both with some white chalk paint. And you may have to do a couple of coats because these bamboo boards, they really do absorb the paint a lot. I think I end up putting maybe 3 coats of paint on this, and I'm not going to paint the back, just the sides and the front. I would recommend removing your paint while it's still a little bit damp. It's a little bit easier and it doesn't pull the paint off if you do it this way. Just go ahead and pull it off while it's still just a little bit damp. After that's dried, I'm just going to take this rub-on transfer they got at Dollar Tree and I'm going to place it right into the center. So I'm going to cover it up completely. And then you're going to have to rub pretty hard. I tell you, the Dollar Tree rub-on stencils or the rub-on transfers are a little bit hard to get to release. And then I switched over to a stick that I had with another rub-on transfer and it worked a little bit easier. But just keep going until you have it completely on here. Okay, next I'm going to take some Waverly Antique Wax and I'm going to brush this entire thing. Now this is going to blend all this together. Don't look at it and go, oh my gosh, what's she doing right now? But once I get it all put on here good, you'll see how pretty it all blended together. And it doesn't cover up the blue completely. It just kind of blends it in there. And you'll see how good it looks here in just a second. But just keep going till you have it on here. And I think I ended up doing maybe 2 coats on here. And I'm only going to do the top and the sides. Okay, after that's dried, I'm going to take these little clamps. And I'm going to put one at the top because I'm going to add a notepad at the top. Just kind of mark it. Use your nail setting tool to punch your hole. And then we're going to drill our hole through this. And you're going to need a screw that's going to be pretty short, but I'm going to show you how to cover up the back of it if you can't find one that's short enough. But just go ahead and drill your hole right through the center. And then I ended up putting a larger screw in at first, and then I came back in, took it out, and put a smaller screw in. But I got these screws right here. They ended up going in through the back of those clamps, but it was a little bit much. So I am going to put this one in first, but I am going to take it back out here in a second and change it out. And you will have to use a handheld screwdriver to do this. Don't try to use a power screwdriver or you'll tear it up. But see, it comes through the back, and I'll show you here in a little bit how we can fix all that. And I just bought these notepads from Amazon to attach right here. And then I'm going to attach one at the bottom to attach my pen. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to go ahead and take my nail setting tool, punch it, and then drill it. And then I'm going to add a smaller screw. And this will be the size screw that I actually use at the top that I replace. And this screw is going to go through this. To find one that won't go through this board was almost impossible. So just go ahead and screw it in, and then I will show you a fix for this here in just a second. Next, I'm going to take these little 15 mil half round beads. I'm going to use my nail setting tool to start my hole, and then I'm going to drill right through this. And then we're going to stick this right on top of the bottom of those screws, and you can literally take it and screw it in with your hands. So just screw it right in there and do the same thing for the other one. And you don't even need to glue these in. They will stay on that screw real well. And then I did get a little bit of paint on the back of my board. I am going to take a little sander, sand it down, and then I'm going to add 4 legs that match these so that it kind of sets up like a riser and it's all the same height. And I'm just going to use wood glue to attach these. It's pretty simple. And that was pretty much it. Okay, for this next cutting board, I'm just going to paint these with some acrylic paint, and this is in the titanium white, and I'm going to paint the front, the back, all of it. That's dry. We're going to give it an even coat of Mod Podge, so go ahead and paint on a pretty generous amount on here. And then once you get it on here, just set this aside and let it dry completely. This next one, I'm going to use the back of a napkin that I decoupaged with before. If you don't have a napkin, you can use a piece of white tissue paper. It'll do the same thing. And I am going to press this with my little iron so that my lines are a little bit more smooth on this. So just go ahead and put a piece of parchment paper over the top, and then you can just iron it until it's a little bit more smooth. Next, I'm going to take a piece of copy paper and I'm going to tape this to this. So go ahead and cut most of the excess all around it, and then you're just going to tape the napkin to the copy paper or the tissue paper if that's what you're using. But just try to really make sure that you do get it snug, as we are going to run it through an inkjet printer, and you want to make sure that the paper is almost like a regular piece of copy paper going through there. Okay, next I ran it through my printer, and this is the print that you make, and you're just going to go ahead and cut it out. Now I've given you the link for the print in the description below. You can just download it and print it on your tissue paper or your napkin. And we're just going to lay it right on top of our cutting board, and then we're going to put some parchment paper over the top, and we're going to iron this on. So try to get it as straight as you can, and then add your parchment paper, and then just go ahead and start ironing it. And this should fit right on one of these Dollar Tree cutting boards. And after that's completely cooled, I'm just going to take a hand sander and go all the way around this just to get the rest of the paper off of this. Now you could burn this if you want to, but this really actually goes pretty fast with a little hand sander. And just brush right up against the side of it in a backward motion only. And then once we get this done, we're going to go ahead and distress it a little bit if you like the distressed look. And I'm just going to take a sponge brush and some black paint, and I'm just going to go around the edges of this, and then I am going to paint the side of my cutting board black. I think it blended in a little bit better once I got my edges all done. This just kind of makes it pop a little bit more than just being stark white. And I'm not overly doing it. I'm just doing a little bit around the edges, and then I am going to paint the sides to match. Just kind of take your time on this. You won't make a mess, I promise you. Just kind of turn your sponge brush to the side and then go ahead and go all the way around the edge with this. Okay, after your black paint's dry, we're just going to give it a little coat of Mod Podge over the top, and that was pretty much it. This is a real handy little tool to have in your kitchen. Let me know what you think in the comments. This next one, I'm using some heirloom gray. It's a Stonehenge gray. I'll give you the link for it, and I'm going to paint the entire board this one solid color. Just to give it a little bit of depth, I'm going to mix a little bit of the white titanium paint in with this. Not a lot, just to give it a little bit lighter color. And then I'm going to take my sponge brush and kind of just brush through this. This will just give it a little bit of a two-tone look, and it'll kind of give it a little bit of depth. So I got this pack of forks from the Dollar Tree. They were $1.50 for 3 of them. And I'm going to bend 2 of them. And they're easy to bend. They're, you can bend them by hand, no problem. It didn't take that much work. And you just kind of want to bend them till they have like a hook. We're going to create a little towel rack with these, and those are going to be our hooks. Just don't bend it so bad that you snap it in half either, because I did hear mine make a little bit of a crack noise on it when I was doing it. So I'm going to add a little hanger to the back so that I can hang this in my kitchen. And you can use any kind of hanger you want. I'm just using this one, and it's got some little bitty nails that come with it that you can hammer through pretty easily. And then I'm measuring it just to make sure I do have it pretty centered. And then I am using my nail setting tool to get it started on both of them. It just makes it a little bit easier. And then you can hold the screw with your pliers and screw it in pretty easily. Just kind of line it up there, grab your pliers, and then just nail right on top of the pliers. And do the same thing on the opposite side. So I'm going to take a rub-on transfer to attach into the center to give it a little bit of a decor. I've had this for a long time, so I'm not really sure exactly where I got it, but I think I got it from Amazon. And it's just a rub-on transfer, and it goes on pretty easily. To finish this off, I'm just going to use some E6000 glue on the forks, and I'm just going to glue one to each side. And then just set these aside and let them dry, and that was pretty much it. This makes a really cute little towel holder. For this next cutting board, I'm going to spray paint it with some chalkboard paint in black. Okay, while that's drying, I'm going to take a little Scrabble board and I'm going to measure it on the cutting board, and I'm going to mark it right there and cut it right there. So I got this little easel from Michael's. It's in the wedding section. It's like a place card holder, and I'm going to use it to hold up my board. So just put a little bit of E6000 glue on the short part and use a little hot glue to hold it in place while it's drying. And I'm just going to line it right up on the bottom, and then this will hold this up nicely. Next, I'm going to stain my little Scrabble piece. I'm just using the Waverly Antique Wax. And you can get these on Amazon. I bought my package of them. You can use them for so many different things. I'll give you the link for these in the description below. That's dried. I'm just going to use a little E6000 glue and a little hot glue just to attach this. This was a real quick and easy project. And then I'm just going to finish it off with a chalk pen that I got at Amazon. Look how cute that is. These would make great gifts. There are so many different possibilities using the Dollar Tree cutting boards. I hope you're able to get some. If you like these kind of videos, be sure and give me a like, subscribe, and ring that bell to be notified when I have a new video upload. Thank y'all so much for being here today. I really appreciate it. And if nobody's told you today, you're awesome. See you next time. Thanks for watching.